For more on these shootings, we're joined by Cory Allen. He's a former U.S. Secret Service agent, and he joins us today from San Francisco. Cory, thank you so much for making time for us.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me back.
Cory, what went through your mind? I should mention to our viewers, if they don't remember, last time you and I spoke when there was an assassination attempt on President Donald Trump at his rally almost a year ago, actually, right now, in July of last year. What went through your mind when you heard about the shootings this morning?
Absolutely appalled that something like this would occur. Of course, I'm in California, so I woke up to this news, horrified by what has happened in a targeted, highly political targeting of these Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota. It's not acceptable in any democracy, and it's just unfathomable that this is going on here in the U.S. in the present day.
Cory, the shootings are happening at a time when public officials, political leaders in the U.S. have been attacked, harassed, intimidated during a period of deep political division. Often these people are attacked in their own homes, as we know was the case for Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband. As a former Secret Service agent yourself, how are you feeling about this?
It brings a lot into question about how we're going about our jobs as security professionals. And from what I'm seeing online, the subject who murdered these people in Minnesota is a security director for a security firm. So they have intimate knowledge as well, which leads us to believe he's probably exploiting it before he carried out these murders. But the rhetoric has got to be toned down. The echo chambers that exist online, social media companies, it goes unchecked, completely untethered, and people just surround themselves with everybody thinking similarly. There's echo chambers. The misinformation is just off the chain, ridiculous, and people just are becoming detached from reality and not having an ability to talk to each other anymore and viewing each other as opponents and us versus them, when in a democratic society, that cannot exist for us to move forward and have compromise.
As you were saying, there is information coming to light about this suspect. I wanted to just mention to our viewers, CBC has not been able to independently verify this, but it's certainly some of our media colleagues in the U.S. Have come up with this kind of information, and it does look like there will be some sort of a press briefing in Minnesota happening in just a matter of minutes that will hopefully give us more information about the suspect. But one thing that we know for sure is that he was posing as a police officer. I mean, somebody most people trust if they appear at their door, especially if you're an elected official and you're used to dealing with police being there for your security, for your protection. What are your thoughts about the uniform being misused this way?
Yeah. Again, as a 23-year veteran in law enforcement now, it's undermining every bit of trust that we go out each and every day, forward-facing the public and behind the scenes, to make sure that people know who we are and they trust us. We're out to serve them. We are hired and paid by the citizens, and we are there for them each and every day. So the fact that stuff like this exists, people can buy it on Amazon, and that seemingly just occurs left and right without checks, as well as it's just undermining everything we stand for. And on top of the ICE raids and all that, that's also going on here, that's playing into these rallies and protests going on today. Not a great time for law enforcement. There's a lot of work to be done, but also they've got to fix these things.
Right. As you said, so much going on that's, I guess, affecting and impacting how people perceive law enforcement. Cory, I want to talk about, you mentioned briefly this sense of, is there a need for reassessment of the kind of security detail, the kind of protection that elected officials need, not just in their place of work, but in their homes?
Oh, absolutely. As you mentioned earlier, Speaker Pelosi's husband, former Speaker, her husband was brutally assaulted in his home here in San Francisco. President Trump was shot at last year in Butler, Pennsylvania, and former Speaker Melissa Portman and her husband murdered in their homes last night, early this morning. She's a former speaker, so I don't, to my knowledge, believe had any security detail because she was now former speaker. And of course, the senator who was also shot and his wife. they have to re-examine whether state police starts covering these and you're beefing it up. And I know at least on Capitol Hill, Capitol Police covers a lot of the elected members of
Cory,
Congress.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but that press conference out of Green Isle, Minnesota, it has just begun. Cory Allen has been standing by for us, and we're really grateful to him for that. He's a former U.S. Secret Service agent. Cory, thank you so much for sticking around. Just you listened along with us. What are your thoughts about the next steps ahead for the police department?
Obviously, they've got a very fluid situation on their hands, and the FBI is there with them assisting. So no doubt the Bureau will look into the manifesto to try and figure out motives and motivations. It's what they do best. So hopefully they apprehend this subject who is armed and dangerous. And if he owned a security company, he's off trained as well. So
you're
just
the first.
Be alert. And
You're the first one who told us that, and there were definitely questions about that. And they said that they're looking into it, but it certainly seems to be the case, which I guess would give this man above average knowledge on how to do what he had done. Cory, I know you're running out of time. We really appreciate you sticking around with us, and I'm sure we'll talk to you more in the days to come. That's former U.S. Secret Service agent Cory Allen. Thank you, Cory.
thank you.